name is Gustavo Alcocer.
My name is Mario Aguila.
My name is Alejandro Tapia.
My name is Oscar Beckman. My name is Kevin Lomez, and we are Jarabe Mexicano. Today we're presenting to you how we're connecting traditional music and bringing younger audience to that music through examples such as La Bamba.
So that was our rendition of the 1958 rock and roll hit La Bamba by Mr. Richie Valens. But La Bamba is really a folk love song that developed during Mexico's colonial period in the state of Veracruz. The song is part of the Son Jarocho repertoire, which is performed by the descendants of African slaves known as jarochos. The song genre has roots in the Baroque music of Europe. But it also has roots in the indigenous music of Mexico, as well as in the percussive music of the African slaves that were brought to Mexico by the Spanish. The son jarocho is performed at events called fandangos, where people can come together and socialize. The music is accompanied by a dance called the zapateado, which in son jarocho is performed on these wooden platforms in order to enhance the music's percussiveness. Son jarocho is known for its improvisational style, and back in colonial times, the lyrics made fun of social elites who looked down on this music and they thought it was too controversial and even vulgar. Still, the music became very popular and spread across the country, becoming a source of regional pride for the people of Veracruz. The son jarocho repertoire is now performed on stages worldwide, and the dancers wear the traditional red and white costumes that you see in the pictures that have come to represent the culture of Veracruz. Now I'm going to pass it on to my friend Mario, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the instruments used in son jarocho. Take it away.
Thank you for having us here. So the instrumentation in the jarocho and the fandangos you see are actually very, it's varied very much across the region through Veracruz. There's a lot of differences, and that is really in part because of what's available to the people that are in certain regions, or what they can make themselves, the kind of materials that they have available. So if you look at our instrumentation, you see us with modern instrumentation, which is the guitar, the classical guitar. We have the congas, the güiro, we have the vihuela, which is a mariachi instrument actually predominantly, and then we have a double bass, which is a classical, European instrument. In the jarocho, the way we are trying to emulate or interpret some of that, for example, we have sometimes, and you can draw your attention up, where is it here? Oh, it's backwards, it's like there. This jawbone right here is like the quijada, used for playing rhythm as Gustavo does on the güira. If you can show them some real quick rhythm. And it could be a syncopated rhythm, or maybe a rhythm that helps keep the beat perhaps, but usually something to make it more elaborate. We have the congas actually here, which is not very traditional to this type of music. However, in our sense, we would use it almost as the feet, the dancers' feet. In our case, are the hands of Alex playing the conga, right? And then the jarana, a smaller ukulele almost like instrument, would in our case we use the vihuela. If you can give them a little sound clip of that. Nice. So it has that higher pitch sound and very nice, very good at keeping rhythm, you know, and adding the harmonies to it, the simple harmonies that we should play. And so it leaves us with a harp, as you see, which is like the emblematic symbol. You know, you see Veracruz, like they have to have harp players. We don't have harp players. We're not quite that talented yet. We're working on that. But the harp is in charge of keeping, you know, also the beat or playing the bass lines and melodic lines. Well, we can't do that all at the same time, but Oscar plays bass lines as such. Can you give him some bass lines? Very melodic bass line, right? And in my case, I'm playing the guitar, something what requinto jarocho would be doing, or also the harp does it too, playing the melody, which is something like this. Melody. Okay, so this more or less briefly is a synopsis of our instrumentation and how we're trying to give you that taste or more traditional feel of the music. But the big question here is, well, what the reason we're here for, right? What do we do with this music? How is it that we're able to bridge that gap? How is it that we're able to bring those new generations in with the older generations and have them be fused, so to speak, in the same desire or will to listen to certain kind of music? And as you see, I gotta do this guy. One way to do it is simply by informing, which is kind of like what our friend Gustavo did a while ago. It is really difficult to get to like somebody or something or anything if you have no knowledge of it to begin with. And then when you're past the superficial, hello, you're welcome kind of thing, what is it made of? What makes it ring with the people of that culture or that community and so forth? And that's what we really believe is part of at the core of what we do with the music. We try to also not educate, but more or less illustrate, if you will, and just make aware of. Another way of doing that is by kind of doing what we also do with some of the traditional music. We play it in a non-traditional way. We make it more current for the younger audiences, the younger ears, perhaps changing the rhythm sometimes even where they're more susceptible to it, if you will, you know, where they want to hear that it makes them dance because, well, we all like dancing at the core in our hearts at some point, right? And then Another way we want to also involve our younger audiences with this, some of us, 3 of us are here, or actually 4 of us, are aspiring and actually active educators in music in our communities. And so what also makes this audience, well, I believe, the most impacting one is simply getting them involved, having them be involved. And it does not take these instruments, it does not even take money. All it takes a willingness, creativity, and well, making them do it pretty much. So with having that in mind, I think we're going to involve you and see what we're talking about. And for that, we're going to have Alex Tapia.
Good afternoon. As Mario was saying, it's an involvement within everybody in this audience and any audience pretty much, which I want you guys to be participating on and be part of the band. Not only be the audience, but be our band as well. So what I want you guys to do is pretty much this half and this 3/4. Let's put it this way. This part right here, I want you guys to start clapping with me. Ready? 3, 4. Yes. So now that is called the beat. We're keeping the beat right now as the bass. And good, thank you very much. Now this audience, I'm going to teach you a word in Spanish that you probably already know the meaning in English. Okay? And it's really sweet and delicious. Chocolate. So can you try it? Chocolate. Good. Can we try it? Chocolate. There you go. Now can we try it a little faster? Chocolate. Chocolate. One more time. And chocolate. Good. Now let's keep the beat right here. Ready? Now let's start saying our favorite and delicious candy. Ready? And go. And chocolate. 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 Now, thank you very much. Now you guys, the chocolate people, are emulating what the Vihuela is doing right now. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. So you're creating a rhythmic pattern that goes within the beat. Okay? So now I want you all to say Bamba,
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 Bamba.
Bamba,
How can we say Bamba,
Bamba,
Bamba?
Bamba,
Again, Bamba,
Bamba,
Bamba.
Bamba.
Very good. Now let's try it and see if we can be part of our band. Ready, guys? 1, 2. Let's see this side if you can keep the beat. And now let's see this side you can keep the chocolate and chocolate, 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 chocolate. Very good.
Bamba, 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 Bamba. Wow! Bamba, 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 bamba.
Do you have any questions for this group? Yes.
Where do we go see you perform?
I'll answer that question. I'll take the easy one. We have a Facebook page, and you can find us as Jarabe Mexicano on Facebook. And there's only like another Jarabe something, Jarabe de Palo, which is actually a traditional, more folkloric type of group, fantastic group from Mexico. But we're not those guys, we're Jarabe Mexicano. We do a little bit more fusion, like I said, to bring the audience. We want those young children involved. In my experience teaching at a community school, it's called City Heights Music School. And we're also in partnership with La Jolla Youth Symphony Orchestra. And one thing I noticed with that, doing the repertoire is very important because the children just want to do that cool, fun, new repertoire, but it's, guess what? The moms and the uncles are also listening to that. And when you get them involved in listening to that, they come also and they're now part of the student group too. And I only see them once, twice a week. They see mom, dad, uncle every day a week, and they take the music with them and the knowledge with them. But to answer your question, and Facebook page, you'll find all those dates coming up. Sorry.
I did want to say that we will have a concert performance here at San Diego State in Smith's Recital Hall in the music department on the 23rd of March. That's a free concert at noon, and it's about 45 minutes to 50 minutes long. And we have some new material and some older material that we'll bring together to
Mark.
I love your performance and presentation, but I'm curious if you want to reach contemporary audiences. It seems like Richie Valens was using electric guitars, which made all of this contemporary back then, and your instrumentation, seems much more traditional.
Right. You want to speak? Well, I think that one of our considerations is to actually use more traditional instruments to expose younger audiences to them. Because of course they'll hear the more modern instruments and they'll see that on television and on the radio. And so a lot of times when we have these productions with children, they'll want to touch the instruments, and some of them have never seen an instrument like this one. And so we'll, and of course the percussion is always something that they love to play with, and so our concept is to expose them to those instruments.
Another reason to use this kind of instruments, I have a student that actually, he didn't know what was a guitar. So it was an amazing experience to expose him to what is a guitar and how to play a guitar. And then later on, he listened to a lot of rock, and now he's asking me because his dad is asking about this type of music, so now he's connecting with his, catching a breath, with his parents, right? And instead of being apart, now they're together, which is really amazing.
Any other questions? Yes.
Are you going to be working in community colleges, for instance, teaching?
In my experience, I'm actually teaching, which is mariachi and guitar ensembles, and with students that are in a continuation education, and teaching more in public schools. Pretty much, it's what I'm doing for right now, and I think it's because the younger generation is the one that has to be exposed to this music, so that when they get to college or community college, they already know this music and they can enforce that.
Yes, to append to that. Yes, to answer your question, yes. We're actually right now working on devising a program, a residency program that we will be instructing with the end goal to be able not only for community college, but also for universities, because we are knowledgeable. So some of us have experience. I mean, I've been playing mariachi traditionally for 15 plus years. Not the youngest of students in the music department, but I am here nonetheless. But to further also expand that, yes, we are working on curriculum because we are advocates for education of all sorts across the board. Clearly, we're musicians, so that's what we're going to emphasize. Because we also understand the value of music as a tool, not just for the sake of playing music, but as a tool to educate. And not only for educating academics, but furthermore, there's a lot of society issues that are at stake at this, there's a lot of things going on, and music is just a great voice, it's a great tool for those things. So yes, we are working on that curriculum. If I'm not mistaken, is it where we're going, if I had to ask my manager, when we're going to residency in Chicago, is that a college or public school? I don't remember.
In Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
It's a youth program.
Oh, youth program. Yes. So we are working on developing that curriculum, because everything has to be tailored for the audience. The 5-year-old's not gonna be wanting. It's not gonna be interested in so much of the academic stuff. But we have to be enabled. We have to devise a way to bring that information to them in a way that's easily accessible to them and that they can fathom, easily. So absolutely, yes. Hope that answers your question.
Great. Thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woo!